thực hiện nhé. Chúng ta đi về nhé.
That morning, the sky was clear and blue, and sunlight gently filtered through the trees, shining down on the road still damp with morning dew. The city gradually awoke with its familiar sounds of daily life, but inside CEO Toan's heart surged an unusual emotion. Today, he had made a heartfelt decision to buy a gift for Tu Diem, the girl who had stirred his heart for so long. His pearl-white car stopped smoothly in front of a high-end phone store in the city center. Dressed in an elegant navy blue suit, Toan stepped out of the vehicle with his usual calm and dignified air, though a subtle nervousness flickered in his eyes. Today, he wasn't heading to a business meeting or signing a contract. He was here for something much more personal, to choose a gift for the woman he cared about. Inside, the store was warmly lit, with rows of the latest phone models displayed behind glass. A young saleswoman approached with a bright smile. "Good morning, sir. What kind of phone are you looking for today?" Toan smiled and replied gently, "I'd like to buy a phone as a gift for a woman. Could you help me choose something suitable?" "Of course. May I ask how old she is and what her style is like?" "She's not flashy," he answered, his deep voice both calm and tender. "But she's refined and gentle. I want something simple, yet elegant, just like her." The staff member nodded and led him toward a display area featuring stylish phones for women. "Based on your description, I think this model is perfect. It's a newly released white version, with a sleek design and silver metallic edges. It's classy, with a high-resolution camera, ideal for a graceful woman with refined taste." Toan picked up the white phone and quietly studied it under the light. The color reminded him of Tu Diem's pure smile and the warmth in her eyes. In that moment, he was certain this was the perfect gift for her. "Do you think she would like white?" he asked softly. The staff replied, "White symbolizes purity, and most women love it. It feels clean, elegant, and matches any accessory. If I were her, I'd be overjoyed to receive this from you." With no hesitation, Toan nodded. "I'll take it. Please wrap it beautifully for me." While the staff wrapped the gift, Toan stood by the window, watching the busy street. The world outside moved quickly, but inside, he felt a quiet peace. Somehow, a simple act like buying a gift made life feel more beautiful. The phone was carefully placed into a silver-white box, tied with a soft ribbon. The saleswoman handed it to him with a warm smile. "Here you go, sir. I hope your gift brings her a wonderful surprise." Toan smiled, nodded in thanks, and returned to his car. He gently set the gift on the passenger seat, his eyes lingering on it as if inside that small box was not just a device, but his sincere feelings for Tu Diem. The white car rolled away into the traffic, blending with the city's rhythm. But in Toan's heart, there was only one thought, imagining the moment Tu Diem opened the box. He pictured her smile lighting up, her eyes widening in surprise. The afternoon sun descended gently like a soft ribbon, casting golden light through the leafy branches along the quiet alley. A white car remained quietly parked by the curb, standing out amid the stillness of the neighborhood. Inside, CEO Toan sat in silence, his eyes fixed on the small blue gate of the modest house ahead. He had been there for a while, yet the house showed no signs of life. No footsteps. No voice. No shadow by the door. Still, he didn't leave. Unlike the usual urgency of meetings and tight schedules, today he chose to wait. Patiently. Calmly. It was unusual for a man whose life was dictated by time and decisions. But the person he was waiting for wasn't a client or a business partner, it was Tu Diem, the girl whose gentle eyes and soft voice had lingered in his mind for far too long. And today, he had something very important to tell her. Beside him on the passenger seat lay the neatly wrapped gift box. He had spent the entire morning selecting it, a white smartphone, not just a trendy device but a symbol of something new. A fresh start. A step closer to closing the distance between them, to break past the unspoken hesitations. Almost 40 minutes later, a familiar silhouette appeared at the end of the alley. Slender, with a canvas bag slung across one shoulder, Tu Diem walked slowly toward home. She had just finished work, and traces of fatigue showed in her eyes. When she noticed the familiar white car parked in front of her house, she paused. Her eyes squinted slightly, as if to confirm it was truly him. Through the car window, their eyes met briefly, a wordless greeting that carried more than politeness. Toan stepped out of the car, his expression warm but tinged with nervousness. He approached her with calm steps, his deep voice breaking the quiet air. "I came to see you. You weren't home, but I didn't mind waiting." "I'm sorry. I just got off work," Tu Diem said, still a little surprised. "Is something wrong?" Toan gave a small smile, his tone reassuring. "No, not at all. I just have something I want to talk to you about. Something important. Could we go to the nearby cafe for a bit?" She blinked, unsure of what to say at first. This was the first time he had asked to meet her like this, with such seriousness in his voice and sincerity in his eyes. After a moment, she nodded. "Okay. Let me put my bag inside. I'll be right out." Toan nodded back, a quiet sigh of relief escaping him. Finally, the moment he had waited for had arrived. He hoped that when he placed the gift on the table and spoke the words he had rehearsed in his heart, Tu Diem would understand the sincerity of his feelings. This was not a business meeting. It was something far more personal. A meeting from the heart.
The small cafe nestled quietly under the blooming purple jacaranda trees, creating a peaceful and cozy atmosphere. Only a few tables were occupied by customers speaking in hushed tones. Tu Diem and CEO Toan chose a secluded corner by the window, where they could watch the street outside and enjoy the gentle evening light filtering through the thin curtains. Soft music played in the background, mingling with the rich aroma of coffee, filling the air with warmth and relaxation. After the server brought their coffee, Toan gently placed an elegant paper bag on the table and slowly pushed it toward Diem. She looked at him, surprise and hesitation flickering in her eyes. "What's this?" she asked softly, curiosity evident in her voice. Toan smiled, his gaze softening as he spoke warmly. "It's a gift I want to give you. A new phone. I thought you deserved something better." Diem felt a bit uneasy, her eyes briefly glancing at the bag before returning to his. A feeling of awkwardness rose within her. She wasn't used to receiving gifts, especially from someone like Toan, a CEO she had always thought was distant and different from her. "Thank you, but I can't accept this," she said quietly, her eyes avoiding his, her voice trembling slightly as she tried to stay composed. Toan remained calm, speaking slowly with sincerity. "It's nothing big. I truly want to give it to you. It's just a phone, but it carries my heartfelt feelings. Without a word, Diem silently opened her handbag, took out her wallet, and placed some cash on the table, gently pushing it toward him. If that's the case, please allow me to pay you back. I appreciate your kindness, but I don't want to owe you or give you the wrong idea. I just want to keep things simple and clear between us. Toan looked at the money, a flicker of surprise crossing his eyes before settling into quiet contemplation. He was neither angry nor disappointed, only a vague sadness crept into his heart, a feeling of emptiness when the woman he cared for put up an invisible wall around her heart. Silence stretched between them, broken only by the soft music and the murmurs of other patrons. Toan gently nodded, his eyes still full of respect as he looked at Diem. I understand, and I respect that. I just want you to know that, whether it's a gift or anything else, I give it to you with all my heart. Diem met his gaze, her eyes brightening slightly as if wanting to express deep gratitude but unsure how to begin. In that moment, within the peaceful cafe, they found a subtle harmony, still some distance between them, yet emotionally close in a delicate way. After Tu Diem hesitated for a moment before accepting the gift, Toan smiled gently and began patiently guiding her through each feature of the new phone. He wasn't hurried, instead, he calmly showed her how to turn on the device, set up essential apps, connect to Wi-Fi, and especially how to use the camera, a feature he knew she loved. Whenever Diem encountered any difficulties, Toan kindly explained and offered encouraging words that made her feel warm and more comfortable. His tone was soft and reassuring, creating a calm atmosphere that made learning enjoyable rather than stressful. The atmosphere between them grew closer and warmer throughout that afternoon. Diem gradually became more familiar with the new phone, her face brightening as she learned how to take photos, edit them, and share precious moments with friends and family. Toan also showed her how to use apps that made daily life easier, from taking notes for her busy schedule, listening to her favorite music, to making video calls so she could stay connected with loved ones. He shared little tips on saving battery life and protecting personal information, emphasizing how this device was not just beautiful but also smart, reliable, and practical. Diem found herself admiring not only the phone but also Toan's patience and thoughtful nature. As the afternoon sunlight streamed softly through the window, they opened the camera app together. Toan gently invited Diem to take some commemorative photos side by side. Standing close under the golden light, Diem's smile blossomed like a delicate flower, her eyes sparkling with pure happiness. Toan's heart skipped a beat in that simple, sweet moment. The pictures they took captured more than just their faces, they captured the beginning of a beautiful connection, filled with trust and warmth. Laughing softly, they looked at the photos together, sharing quiet moments of joy and newfound closeness. After their fun and heartwarming session, Toan softly suggested they head back to Diem's cozy little wooden house. Nestled peacefully in a lush garden filled with the gentle songs of birds and the soft rustling of leaves, the house offered a sanctuary away from the hustle and bustle of the city. On the way, their conversation wandered through small everyday joys and deeper dreams they each held quietly inside. Toan listened carefully to Diem's hopes and stories, sensing the sincerity and kindness in her words. Likewise, Diem felt a rare sense of peace and comfort with Toan beside her, appreciating his genuine care and presence. Arriving at the wooden house, they stepped inside the warm, inviting space bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun. Sitting by the window, watching the evening light filter through the trees, neither needed many words. The shared silence spoke volumes of mutual respect, growing affection, and the simple happiness of being together. It was in these quiet moments that Toan realized how precious these small, intimate times were, and Diem found herself quietly hopeful about what the future might bring.
As they stepped into the cozy little yard in front of Tu Diem's wooden house, Toan and she sat down together at the simple wooden table placed under the shade of a large tree. The peaceful atmosphere was filled only with the gentle rustling of leaves and distant bird songs, creating a sense of calm and comfort. The sunset gradually descended, casting a warm golden light over the garden, bathing everything in a nostalgic glow. Toan looked straight into Diem's eyes, his voice warm and sincere. Toan truly wants to tell you that all the feelings I have for you are genuine. I don't just like you, I want to be with you, to build a better future together. Diem listened attentively, feeling the honesty in every word. She nodded softly but couldn't hide her nervousness. I know you're serious, and I truly appreciate that. But matters of the heart aren't always easy to accept immediately. I need time to think and feel, Diem whispered gently, her eyes kind yet still a bit hesitant. Toan smiled, neither rushing nor pressuring her. I understand, Diem. I don't want to make you feel pressured or uneasy. I just want you to know that no matter how long it takes, I will patiently wait. I want to go through every challenge with you, to share both joy and sorrow. The two sat together in the quiet, filled with unspoken yet meaningful feelings. Toan continued sharing his dreams and plans he hoped to realize with Diem, from simple everyday moments to grander ambitions. Diem gradually felt a warmth spreading in her heart. She looked at Toan with hopeful and grateful eyes, quietly wishing she would find the courage to open her heart and accept this sincere love.